Here's what happened last time on the Incorrigible party.
With the aid of Horik's new bow, he and Shaft infiltrate the tower and attempt to deactivate it. Finding nothing to contain the second Eye of Dendar, and other attempts at shutting down the structure failing, Shaft has no choice but to bluff his way out, resulting in a conflict with the guarding constructs.
Now let's get back to the adventure.
Shaft, you can actually now see out the obliterated door of the tower, right? Like, I would imagine. I mean, you're obviously pretty preoccupied, but like you don't see Horik in sight out there. You don't see Shikara. You don't see the cadaver collector, right? Like, that's kind of the peripherals of your current surroundings right now.
Okay. Damn it. I'm gonna pick up the pit, keeping the stone defender trapped inside of it,
Okay.
so I can at least eliminate one other thing attacking me.
Okay.
That's my action. And then, oh man, do I want to give him an opportunity attack? So, I mean, that's my action, so I can't pull the cube out of my bag. I guess that's it. Okay, as a bonus action, can I cast Zephyr Strike, or can I do that after I do to pick up the whole action?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it's bonus, for sure.
It's a bonus. So what I'm going to do is, I move like the wind. Until the spell ends, the movement does not provoke opportunity attacks. Once before the spell end, you can give yourself advantage on one weapon attack roll on your turn. So that's not now because I've already used my action. So I have up to 1 minute. This is a concentration spell that I will get advantage, but can't give me an opportunity attack. So I'm going to run up the steps. 25-foot movement up the steps.
Shikara, you can try to break the paralysis.
18.
You are no longer paralyzed, although that was the
Yes.
end of your turn.
Yeah.
Okay, one stone defender stuck in the portable hole. The other gives chase with its 30-foot movement up the steps with Shaft, is able to catch up to you, and will again attempt to, it gives you a look over, a quick scan, and then we'll try to slam you. Wow, okay, really only getting 50-50 here. A 10 into 23 for 12 bludgeoning. The collector approaches Shikara. Doesn't really like that you're not paralyzed, but it will attempt to grapple you. So you can do a contested athletics here. It only gets a 16 though.
Oh, 27?
Was that with your disadvantage because of your exhaustion?
No. I rolled 19 both times.
Wow, okay, excellent. So it is unable to grab you, and those voices like ring up again, right? Almost like out of frustration, although the volume is really the only thing that's changing, right? The words they're saying never does. But it will instead just try to hit you. Ooh, yeah, 27 to hit. 17 bludgeoning damage. Shaft.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and attack this thing. I'll go ahead and use my advantage while I'm here. It's a 25 to hit. 21 points of damage.
That first strike is enough for the Stone Defender to cease functioning. You lash out with your weapon, and it keels forward, and then backwards, down, and clanks and tumbles down the tower stairs.
Okay, so I didn't need all the extra damage and everything, but it says whether I hit or miss, my walking speed increases by 30, which I should have used last time. So I'm going to go ahead and run up my regular 25 plus an additional 30 up to the top of the tower, or try to get to as close to the top of the tower I can get with that movement. Does that get me a pretty good way up?
You're more than halfway up.
Okay.
Shikara.
Even though Hex is a part of my Hex magic, is still an action. I mean, bonus action, but it counts as a spell, right? So, like, I can't do Hex and a leveled spell.
Yeah, I think it's like as if you're casting. You get essentially a free cast of it because of your hex blood heritage. Yeah.
Shoot. I want to cast darkness on the thing in front of me.
Okay, remember you don't cast darkness on a creature, but you pick a point.
On
right?
a piece of on one of its corpses that it's wearing.
No.
No?
Well, what is
still a
the
creature.
detection of the spell? That's still technically the creature. You couldn't cast darkness on somebody's jacket that they're wearing.
If the point you choose is on an object you are holding or one that isn't being carried or worn. So I guess one of the corpses is technically being carried and worn.
Correct. Yes, unfortunately. Now you could try to pull Hork off, darkness him, and then let the thing put it back on it.
Ah, shit. Well, I want to cast darkness right in front of its face, then.
Okay.
On a point I choose. And then that's all I can do. I will back up a little. No, because I don't... No, it's not within 5 feet of me, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Oh. Shit. Then I'll stay put.
Well, if you want to risk that it cannot see you, you can't take opportunity attacks against a creature that you cannot see.
I'll back up 5 feet.
Okay, you do not incur an attack of opportunity. Stone defenders are pretty much dealt with. Hork, come on, buddy. Let's get out of this paralysis here. Hey, a 20. Okay, Hork like comes finally is he's able to talk. He's like, but he is still currently restrained. Now, strangely though, now that he has full mobility or most of it, like he's able to actually move his limbs, his struggling does incur additional damage as he's pinned to these spikes. Okay, so he's gonna take another 10 piercing.
How's Hork looking?
Hork is just about bloodied. He's not looking too good. I mean, he's pinned to a metal monstrosity in addition to a number of other desiccated corpses. It's not the best. The collector, though, blinded by all accounts. Oh no. Shikara, with your devil sight, you are able to see that hinged mouth just falls open again as it recharged its breath. That's 2 6s I rolled to recharge that.
Oh, man.
It will blindly exhale into this tunnel as it's unaware what's in front of it, but that's all that it can really do. So you can make me another Constitution
18.
saving throw. Hey! Okay, there you go.
Just.
And it doesn't move. Shaft. You can hear as you're coming out this tower, you can hear the suction cups of the oaken bolters on the outside moving around still.
Okay, so I don't know where they are exactly. They're not on the front anymore.
Right.
Okay. I was sort of banking on them being out front.
Well, I mean,
But-
you get like a loose estimation of where they are based. As you're running around this tower,
Yeah.
you're moving from the back of the tower, to the side as you're circling the stairs.
Okay. Yeah, I was hoping their attention would be drawn to the front where the action is the idea, but I'll find out.
You will, because kind of unaware of what exactly is going on out there. But
Okay, so while I'm running up the steps, I will reach in and pull out the cube, sort of putting together, that might be what the other thing was looking for, the Stone Defender was looking for. But I want to try to make my way all the way up to the top, to where the power source, the eye, is. Because at this point, cat's out of the bag, might as well put it in.
how many more feet are you able to move in the one turn with Zephyrs?
So that's only when I attack. Whether you hit or miss, your walking speed increases by 30 feet until the end of that turn. So I only get my dash now, so it'd be 50 total.
You'll be at the top in one more round.
Okay.
Shikara.
Combat goes a lot faster when it's just the two of us. I will step up 5 feet so I'm all up in its face. And I'll fuego, so the darkness gets even dimmer. If that's possible. That's a 24 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
20 points of damage. Do you need me to separate the necrotic from the sword?
Yes.
I mean, it's 10 and 10.
So you slash at it with your weapon, and the flare of the anti-flame, like the extra necrotic damage you see is doing nothing.
Okay. I'm going to attack it again. Does the actual sword damage do anything?
It does seem like it is effective, yes.
It's a 21 to hit. 8 necrotic, that does nothing. And 6 sword damage. Oh, wait, hold on. I can reroll 1s and 2s. 8 sword damage.
And that's with your aura?
Plus 4! God damn it! Plus 4! Plus 8 more!
Oh, goodness. This is how we die, people.
And I will step 5 feet back.
Okay, yeah, you're able to do so. Okay, Horik is going to try to get himself off of this thing. So he's going to do, he's just going to make an athletics check to get off of this bloody spike bean thing. Oh, Horik, that's a 1.
Oh,
no!
man!
Which comes out to be about a 5 total, but still like nowhere. So he does incur more spike damage being impaled here.
You need to use a different die for him.
Only 4 more this time, though. Horik is now officially bloodied. So that's going to be his action, I guess. Yeah, that's his action to try to get out of that. The Collector. No, that almost seems unfair. Shikara, its hinged mouth falls open again, and it lets out that blast.
Oh, man.
Come on, lucky die. You can do this. 18 again.
Whoa,
Yes.
okay. Excellent. Good job.
I like this die.
This time it advances blindly
Oh, no.
until it essentially it runs into you, and it kind of stops when it bumps into you. As its action was its breath, so it can't do any more attacks or anything like that. Shaft. You with just 1 standard movement, you're to the top now.
Okay. After all this, we're getting the damn eye. So I take my bag out, and I try to put the eye in by just wrapping the bag around and getting it in there. However I need to do that.
Okay, why don't you give me a sleight of hand?
6.
Okay, you do your best to avoid touching it, but you do make contact with it. So you can give me a Constitution saving throw to avoid a level of exhaustion. As immediately even the briefest contact saps out of you, tries to at least.
22.
Okay, that is fine. You are able to resist it even without the cube. And you see, though, as you have to make this check, you've kind of grown accustomed to the lightness, for lack of a better term, of the cube's protection. That is clearly gone. The cube is out of juice. Any bit of that heat that was emanating from it, because of how hard it was working to keep you protected, fully dissipated. It's completely inert now until it recharges again.
Okay.
But you have it in your bag of holding. It is now aglow. But as soon as you essentially close the bag off of the tripod, the sphere around you, as if someone flicked a switch, is off. And you can see down the tower, just rocketing down, the sigils just blinking out. Like this ring of blue light kind of is forced down the tunnel until there's nothing. And now it's the night's darkness immediately swarms in to replace the blue. And you've deactivated this tower by removing the eye from the apparatus atop it.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to take whatever movement I have and start heading back down the steps.
Okay, well, I'll call that your action. So it'll take you 2.5 turns to dash all the way back down now.
Okay.
And keep in mind the bag, because it's not containing lead, you are emitting blue light in a 15-foot radius. You're still in it. And you will still suffer the effects, or whomever would be holding the bag would still suffer the effects. Shikara.
I really can't do anything else because I am out of spell slots, so I am just going to whack it with my sword. Again. 21.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to bother rolling the necrotic damage. 9. No. 9 plus 10 is 19.
Okay.
And I will attack it again.
No.
That's a 20 to hit.
That is a hit.
It's 20 points of damage. And I'll back up 10 feet this time. Thank you very much.
Horik. Horik has had enough. He just pulls out his axe and is just going to attempt to beat at this thing, even though he has disadvantage because he's restrained. But he's just going to swing away and try to cut himself out of it, essentially. Okay, first attack was only a 12. Second one with disadvantage, though, is a 24, so he definitely hits. First one you see it's like it's a two-handed weapon that he still has two hands on it, but he's almost like reverse axe throwing, like over his head, right? But pulling it and swinging it up over his head to slam into whatever is above him on the body of this thing. The first strike kind of cuts into one of the desiccated corpses stuck on this thing rather than the cadaver collector itself, right? Puff of dusted organs and offal completely drained from the blue light, which Shikara, you of course notice, is gone in this tunnel now, is out. Second hit, though, strikes true. Ooh, almost max, dealing 16 slashing. Collector. Let's see if I can recharge for the fourth time in a row.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's a 3, so no recharge. Okay.
Oh, darn.
You see it Shikara, you see it start to just move forward like blindly. Until again it bumps into you. This time we'll try to attack. It does have disadvantage because it cannot see you. First hit is a critical fail. Second hit is an 18.
I will parry, which will give me a 24 AC.
All right. Excellent. Shaft. Just descending.
Would I know that we've tried to put the eye in the bag of holding, and I think we discussed it's a magical item, not an extra dimensional plane. The portable hole, though, is an extra dimensional plane. If I was to put the eye in the hole, would that then not be emanating?
The portable hole description specifically says that it's another, dimension.
It's extra dimensional plane. It says, let me read it again here. Portable pit. You use an action to unfold a portable pit and place it against a solid object. Portable pit creates an extra dimensional pit.
Okay, but that's not extra planar.
It does not say planar. It says extra dimensional, which I don't know what the difference is then.
The way I interpret that is like the bag of holding, it just creates extra space where there shouldn't be extra space.
Yeah, it just says extra dimensional pit. So just adding. So I guess what I'm getting at is I would, based on having both of these items in my possession, I would know that one would act as the other, and it would not give me any advantage to try to do that.
I would say yes. So you would know enough. I think you would have enough knowledge to be probably not wanting to risk interacting with directly the eye again to try and transfer them.
Okay. In that case, I'm just dashing.
Shikara.
I'm just slashing. 22 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
17 then.
17 damage.
Yeah, 17 damage for the first one, and at 28 to hit for the second one. 21 points of damage. I'm going to stay where I am because I believe he's on the edge of the darkness.
I see. Okay. Horik. Swinging away. He sees this thing. As you're striking it, Shikara, some of those aftermarket spikes additions, or you're cleaving some of them off, right? Even freeing some of the corpses that are stuck to it, just falling in the darkness. Horik can't really see any of that, but hears your efforts, right? As he's kind of grunting himself as he's just going to try to attack again. Hey, that's a pretty good with the 21. And, only a 17, which misses. But 9 more slashing from Horik. And again, his movement's incurring damage as he's pinned to these spikes. Oh, wow. He takes another 10 piercing.
I can't heal him. Oh, wait. I have a potion.
The Collector. Again, will just blindly lash out at you, Shikara. Ooh, yeah. Lowest is going to be a 25.
And if I parry, that only gets me to a 24, so that hits.
Okay, so the first one, 19 bludgeoning. And can you make me a Constitution saving throw to maintain your darkness, please?
9.
All right, darkness goes away, meaning the second hit is not with a disadvantage anymore, as it can see you. But it critically fails again. All right, you see, like, it's like it was winding up already as your darkness dispels, and it just swings and kind of goes over your head and into the side of the tunnel. And actually, one of its arms and the spikes on it get stuck in the dirt. Shaft continuing down the tunnel.
Yes.
Or, sorry, tower. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Shikara.
How is this thing looking now?
The way that it is moving, like you've obviously been able to see it swinging, right? Its swing seemed like it's becoming less and less accurate as you're dealing more and more damage to the mechanisms of it. And you can see too, in a number of places, the exposed soul sacs and those tubules, right, that keep it connected. And it is clear now that there are multiple of these things powering this one.
Okay. 14 doesn't hit it, does it?
It does not.
So I reach out to... I'm going to try and pierce one of the sacks, and I can't get to it. 20 for my second hit.
Okay.
17 points of damage.
Oof, really good. Horik. Still going. Horik still swinging here. So even though the darkness is dispelled, he's still restrained, so still at a disadvantage. Yeah, but he critically fails for his first swing, unfortunately. And he's like still doing that like reverse axe throw, right? And the desiccated powder in the air, kind of interfering with him, and he lets slip of his weapon on the first strike. No longer unable to keep a hold of his axe, meaning nothing to perform a second attack with.
Was he adding a +4 for his damage from my aura?
He has not been, actually. It's 10 feet, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. I will add it for this one. Or, sorry, not this one, because he didn't hit. But he takes 6 more piercing from his movements impaled on this mechanical monster.
Horik, get yourself out of the way! Oh,
Collector recharges its paralyzing breath again with a 5. Wow, that's on fire.
Oh my god.
It'll do it.
I know that look. Disappointment.
Yeah. Yeah. 14.
Unfortunately, Shikara, you are paralyzed. Its hand is still in the tunnel, like it hasn't tried to free itself. It's kind of just left it there, and so it's still kind of like got one arm almost like across its body as it's letting out this breath at you. Shaft, you are at the door of the tower now.
Okay, so I'm going to get to the door. I'm going to take a swig of the whole greater healing potion to get myself some hit points back. I'll
Just
roll
a
that in a
little sip.
second. And I'm going to stick sort of my head out the door, looking up to see if I can assess where these oaken bolters are on the tower.
It does look as if they have resumed their patrol around it, because as you can clearly see, you don't see Horik, Shikara, or the Cadaver Collector anywhere in sight out here.
Okay.
Presumably, neither can they. So it does seem like they have gone back to that kind of staggered encirclement of the outside of the tower.
All right, I think I'm just going to get down in the running stance. And when I see that about 120 degrees apart, when one of them is sort of just overhead and starting to make its turn, it gives me the most time for only one to be in my vision, then I'm going to dash out. So we'll see, however long that takes for the little dancing blue dot to go running across the open field.
Shikara,
I guess I'll see if I can become unparalyzed.
fingers crossed.
No, that was worse. That's not even in the teens that time.
Okay, unfortunately, doesn't go your way.
No.
Horik, now weaponless, will attempt to free himself. It's only a 13 for Horik. Oh no. Suffering 7 more piercing. Cadaver grabs a hold of you, Shikara, and it's going to attempt to stick you to itself. That's going to be with a 27. As you feel yourself being picked up, and again, you're like paralyzed, so you're rigid. So it's not even like the like throwing a corpse around, right? It's literally like picking up a stick as it slams you into itself. You take 21 piercing.
That hurts.
Its hand is still kind of stuck though, so it can't really move away from where it is right now. Shaft, your time is now. You have your gap, as best as it's going to be as far as a number of Oaken Bolters viewing the 120 feet stretch that you have to sprint through.
All right, I'll run my full 50 then.
Shikara.
Where am I in relation to where Horik is, and am I face up or face down or like front to front with it?
Yeah, tip to tip. It's got Horik on its right shoulder. It has now slammed you facing it on its left side.
I'm still paralyzed.
Okay.
You gotta stop paralyzing us, damn it!
I'm sorry. The recharges have been insane. Horik is going to try to free himself again. Okay, natural 20 for Horik.
Woo!
Horik is able to pry himself off of these spikes,
I'm silently cheering. Yay, Horik!
incurring another 11 points of piercing in the process.
Is he still standing?
Horik lands on the ground to a knee from the tears and the extra gashes as he pulls himself up. Stands up, barely able to do so. Picks up his weapon again and hardens himself for the incoming inevitable blows from this thing. And it is the corpse collector. No! He rolls a 5!
Six?
He rolls a 5!
5 and 6?
5 and 6 to recharge. So, Horik, as is this thing's modus operandi, again, it seems very simple. Like they have, it's almost like they have like these, think of them as directives, right? There's not much reasoning or logical thinking with these things. Their intelligence is incredibly low, so it will try to paralyze Horik. Horik gets a 15 and is paralyzed once again. Shaft.
I'm going to continue to run as fast as I can towards the hole.
You hear like Horik's groans and efforts, and then suddenly like they stop. Obviously because he's paralyzed, but you, unaware of that, could maybe come to a different conclusion. Shikara.
Okay, I'm gonna get it this time. Yes, I rolled an 18.
Okay, there we go. You are
23.
Unparalyzed. Okay. Excellent. You are able to move once more, but that is the end of your turn. Horik, paralyzed, will try to break it himself at the end of his. Oh, he gets a 19. Horik is unparalyzed. Right
Nice.
before the cadaver collector.
Yeah.
Does not recharge its breath. So it will slam into Horik. Oh, wow, a 13. That's going to be a miss. And a 12. Okay, wow, this thing has a plus 10 to hit. Shaft, you still have the cube in your hand?
Yes. I mean, running with it, yeah.
So, Shaft, you kind of, as you're sprinting, looking over your shoulder, the oaken bolters begin to move around again as one spots you right. And they each start to look you up and down, and they do not fire. And now it's your turn.
Okay, I think I can make it right to the opening of the tunnel and still have my action. So I'm going to run up to the entrance to the tunnel, and can I see the cadaver beast?
Yeah, you could see probably like the lower half of it at least.
Okay, then I'm going to try to shoot a couple arrows into it. 19 to hit, 19 damage. 25 to hit, 13 damage.
Shikara, unparalyzed now, but you can arrows pinging into this thing like right next to you as Shaft starts to attack it. More metal and fabricated pieces, aftermarket fabs, fly off of it against the impact. Still, arm stuck in the wall. It's up. It's still going. Shikara.
I'm not going to, but how funny would it be if I animated dead and one of the things on it came to life?
Honestly, I was hoping that would be something you would try, but
I don't think it would work well for me, so I'm not going to, but I'm going to try and get off of this thing.
Okay, you can make me an athletics or acrobatics if you prefer one or the other, with disadvantage.
It's a 16 or a 15? So 15.
15 gets you off.
Oh, thank goodness.
You do take low. 15 gets you off. Who doesn't? I mean, what more could you ask for? You take 4 piercing as you wrench yourself off of the spikes. One of which kind of comes with you from the damage of this thing, right? Like, and you kind of have to pull it out of your shoulder as you hit the ground.
That's my turn, though, right?
I mean, that was your action. You still have movement.
And then I would get an opportunity attack, so I will stay where I am.
Okay, Horik has his weapon once more. We'll just try to deal the last blow to this thing. The 26. 6 points of damage for the first strike. Second one, 18. Another 6. That's as low as he can... About as low as he can roll. His second axe, though, comes onto the joint where the arm is, just shearing through the metal, and the entire cadaver collector just collapses to the floor of this tunnel.
Yes! I'm glad Horik got to do it. Horik deserved that kill.
Hey! Well, okay.
And we are now out of initiative.
Yay!
Oh my goodness. Horik, are you okay?
And get there.
I'll continue to run up. Do you hear him when he's
Yeah,
talking?
yeah, absolutely.
I am also hurt. Here, I'll pull out of my bag a greater healing, which I will give to him and have one myself.
All right, very nice. 19 for Horik, almost max.
Is that better roll than me? I got 15. And those were all my potions.
Yep, I only have one regular one left.
Hey, Timaeus, your name's...
Yeah! And look what I got! And I hold the bag up.
We will not make it to Jakal with that.
Well, that's what we came here for. Can we put it someplace? Maybe hide it in the Bahir.
I have an idea. Looking at the corpse collector. I could animate one of those things, and it could carry the bag several feet behind us so that we are not affected by the light.
I sort of look at her funny, and I go, yeah, better than me.
I agree.
Shikara, could you roll me an intelligence check, please?
I rolled a 19.
With disadvantage.
13.
Okay, you're kind of looking at some of the state of many of these corpses, and they're like they're like it's as if they've been mummified, right? The way you punch through the Bahir as you landed on it. Potentially, I'm not sure how you can raise 3 at a time, right? Perhaps 3 of them may be able to have this strength in the condition of their bodies, right? Or after the effects of the light, perhaps the three of them together would be able to carry a single bag of holding at the increased state of decay and desiccation of the corpses.
So it's like just brittle.
Correct. Yeah.
They don't have any strength. I am not certain it will work with these, though. They are quite far gone. I could try.
You might as well. If it doesn't work, we can always hide it someplace until we can get a lead box.
All right, I will try. So do you want me to do any kind of roll or something to see if it works, or...?
Oh, you for sure are able to animate them. It's just going to be a matter of whether or not the three of them together...
are strong enough to...
Yes, exactly. Yeah. You definitely... I imagine you're going to try to pick some of the juiciest ones.
Yes. Here, help me pull these off.
Hork will help you, yeah.
All right, I help.
Make a nice pile.
This one's really sticky. Oh.
Good. Throw it over there.
Sort of drag it over. Oh, the bottom half came off the top.
Oh, grab the bottom half. We need that too.
There's more. Get one of the other ones.
We need all we can get.
I guess we spend a little time trying to unpuzzle these pieces from this corpse collector.
Now,
cadaver collector.
I'm assuming that are you doing something with the bag of holding? I won't assume anything, in fact. What, are you going to keep it on you? Or are you going to put it like in the tunnel and then away from so you're all out of its effect? Because it's a 15-foot radius.
So if I know that we're all going to be affected by this within 15 feet, I'll move it down the tunnel, further down the tunnel, about 15, 20 feet, and lay it down over in a corner, sort of put a rock over beside it to cover up any glowing or anything.
Great. Lushki's turn in initiative. She picks up the bag of holding.
Lishki, you son of a...
Okay, so great. You're outside of its effect, so that's fine. And like once that tower, right, as soon as that tower goes down in shaft, once you're finally away from the bag of holding, it's like there's that pressure that you just got kind of used to, and the drain that is finally gone, and you really realize just how much being in the light, even making your Constitution saving throws right, just how much it actually affected you, and how better you feel outside of its influence, even after the battle and being cuts and scrapes and impaled and pinned and restrained and smashed. Outside of that light, it's the difference is as stark as the difference between the dark of the night and the blue of the light.
Yeah, I'm sort of glad to put that thing down. We definitely need a lead box if we're going to take this thing back to Izzy.
Yes, we are, I guess, going to go to Drakal. We're going to have to hide this thing somewhere. We cannot take it into the city.
Right, yeah. I think that's our best bet.
We can leave my servants with it to guard it while we go find a box.
Yeah, I mean, if we leave soon, we can probably make it by daybreak.
First, let's get out of this tunnel.
Okay, I think we'll try to go find a spot.
Is there somewhere outside Drakal we can hide it? So it is not so far away from us.
So there's different ways to get into Drakal. There's some tunnels.
Neogi infested?
More than likely.
We could send them ahead of us, clear out the way.
What, these things? I point back at the corpses.
Yes, carrying the eye.
I think our best bet's to stash it someplace and try to get to Drakal and get the lead box as fast as possible and get back. I don't think we're going to be able to take this thing with us anywhere.
There is nowhere closer to Drakal we can stash it.
Do I know of any place that would be outside of the city walls that would not be a tunnel where Neogi are? You know, like a hidey hole or something? So I know there was different ways that you could get in and out that we talked about in earlier episodes, but there's no guarantee that the Darklings were using.
Well, you asked Jolvi and Bakla, and really, well, Bakla more than Jolvi, but Bakla said, like, yeah, that farmstead north of Drakal, certainly there were a number of buildings there, more than just the barn that you had to fight with the original Jilvi in there. There's that place, and yeah, like you mentioned, there's certainly like sewer culverts where you could creep into the city limits through those tunnels, but again, you're trying to avoid the Neogi.
Yeah, I think one of the outbuildings.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you certainly, like the last time you were there, like it looks as if it was abandoned and it hadn't been used as an actual like farming house for who knows how long.
I think that's our best bet. I know a place.
Good, because I do not want to come back here.
No, I think we head to the call, we get the sled box, and then we gotta hightail it to the portal near Zexa.
And rest at some point in there.
Yeah, I could probably use a good rest.
All right, let's go.
Come on, Horik.
You see, he's like kind of dragging his grace, like he can barely holding on to it. Orc was very close to dying.
Oh,
again.
I had like 20 hit points.
Yeah, Orc was down to 11. You kind of direct, Shikara, you direct your undead minions, the three of them together, in as synced up as you can get them through your the control you have over them through the coven magic. The three of them each like 6 hands on this bag of holding, and they are able to just clear it from the ground as it's just kind of as they move, right, it kind of drags every couple steps, but the three of them together, as desiccated as they are able to carry the bag of holding, and you can have them like 20 feet ahead of you or whatever, so you're outside of the effects of the blue light.
Yes.
Now I assume you are going to take this tunnel to where the front line and then climb out there. Is that the plan?
Will we be able to get those things up? We're going to have to climb up, tie them on there, and pull them up individually.
Correct.
That'll take a minute.
I mean, why not? As long as they don't fall apart, as long as they got enough meat on their bones to, keep them together in one piece, we'll give it the best shot. Worst case scenario, we tie our 50-foot rope and drag the damn thing behind us.
Well, honestly, that's also a possibility. So you get to the hole in another like 30 or so minutes, right? And the rope is still tied off from up there, right? That you use to climb in, so you all can use it to climb out and try to pull the zombies up. I don't know what are we calling this other ones. What are these ones' names? Because they're not all orcs. There's a human or so in there, so dorks may not be appropriate. They are husks. They are dead husks.
Huskies.
All right, you got your huskies.
Yep.
So we're gonna essentially tie a rope around a husky waist and try to pull it up.
Yep.
Kind of like around the waist and under. It's like not just one loop, but kind of like.
Okay, you're trying to make a rope harness for the
Yes.
husky.
I was gonna say, yeah, not just around the.
We don't want to cinch and cut him in half.
His arms and his legs are, like he's what's that movie? Mission Impossible, dangling.
Who is tying up the huskies then? Because I'll take a sleight of hand for whomever is doing it. Or actually, pardon me, I'll take a survival for like any of you can tie the rope, but I'll take a survival for the knot that stays and the way the harness is crafted.
Shaft, can you tie them up, please?
Oh yeah, no problem.
I am very worn out still.
I start running through this rib and around that rib and sort of give it a double knot there, and hey, that probably will work. 13.
Okay. All right. I mean, Horik will help to pull it up. These things like have no weight to them. All the fluids from their like completely drained, right? Like, think of their skin is like the consistency of a dried leaf that you would step on and crunch, right?
Careful, Horik. Not too fast. Hey, watch it when you pull him through the hole. His head's gonna hit. Okay. No. Push his head with your foot. Push his head. No, he's gonna come out. Okay. Good. All right.
That's only a finger.
Good job. Good. Hey, they only need a few of those for each hand. Okay.
All right, that's the first one. The first one gets
Throw the
up
rope
there,
back down.
throws the rope down.
All right, come here. I go over and I sort of wrap this one under the arms and around and... Okay, that's an 8. Okay, this one's good.
Okay, Horik pulls slowly, and you see under the arms the rope starts to dig into their flesh as it tightens and cinches, and Horik pulls. It gets about halfway up before from its sternum down separates against the rope as it digs, and you can kind of smell the rope burn as it shifted, and its bottom half falls as Horik pulls its top half.
Ah, that one's no good anymore. Ah.
I was afraid of that.
All right, I got a better idea. I got a better way to tie the next one. Here, throw the rope back down.
Horik will untie the torso and throw the rope back down.
Just throw that one back down, too. He's no good for us.
Horik gives it a bit of a kick, and it just kind of to the bottom, into the bahir.
All right. Okay, this time I just wrap it around and around and around and around till I don't have any rope left with the rest of the 50 foot. And then I tie it off. There, that's not coming loose. Now, nice and slow.
Now, you mean like the way in which you would tie up somebody to leave on a railroad track from an incoming train? Okay, from head to toe.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I make sure it's tied off pretty good so he doesn't yo-yo down, right?
And they call me the evil one.
All right, give me a survival with advantage this time. You've learned a little bit from your first two trials.
All right. Well, that's good because I got 20 crit.
Okay. Somehow this one comes up out of the hole in better condition than which it went into as Horik is unraveling it. And this you got one prime desiccated zombie. So you got two out there.
That's the ticket if we ever need to do that again. All the way around. Okay, how many do we have? Any more?
There was just the 3.
All right, throw the rope back down.
It's okay.
Oh God, there's crap all over the rope now. Pull this rope back up and send yours down. This one, I can't climb that thing.
Shaft, you're such a whiner.
You could all get out of this stinking tunnel.
All right, do you think these two can handle this?
We shall see.
The two of them grab a hold of the bag, and they're able to drag it behind them. So it is decreasing as a whole the group's movement speed, right, as you're kind of trailing these two Huskies. Essentially their speed is halved, so you're moving, it'll take you twice as long to cover the distance back to Drakal as it normally would.
My speed was only at a 15 anyway. My speed's halved.
That's okay, so you're kind of slowed down at that point regardless. So
time wise for us to get to the little barns or whatever outbuildings at this rate, you think?
Yeah, from where you are, I think it would take you about another 3 hours or so.
How long till daybreak?
Daybreak will probably be in just under 4.
Okay.
Now, apologies. That's actually that's at a normal speed. So the half speed will take you more like 6.
Can you summon your steed?
I have no energy left for that.
Well, let's move as fast as we can. More than likely, we're going to be the possibility of us being seen when the sun comes up.
I agree. We need to go as quickly as we can. As I continue to
hobble,
stroll,
jaunt. Okay, and you make it like across the darkness. You're kind of looking up back to the paladin camp. Like from here, you can see the fires right up on the mountainside. But as you near the base of the mountain, it actually begins to snow quite heavily, very heavy snowfall. Nearly whiteout conditions, so you will have disadvantage on perception checks outside of 30 feet. That's how heavy this snow is falling, which completely obscures your view of any of the fire lights from the camp or on the mountainside as you are crossing the open terrain. And that the abandoned farmstead is essentially So it's west of your position, right? It's essentially due west, as you are north of the actual city of Drukal. Still nestled kind of at the base of the mountains, as that, like, you know that place was essentially a staging ground where yogis and their thralled orcs were coming down from the mountains to take the wagons full of the people that the Darklings were offering them, right? As part of Hannah's agreement that she had with them. That's all, of course, what you've uncovered throughout the adventure. So it is still relatively close to the base of the mountains, but just outside of the city.
Does it look to be in relatively good condition? I mean, a place we can stay out of the snow and maybe take a rest.
Before you get there, though, we're approaching dawn. Although, things certainly get lighter even with the snow is falling, right? Very gray and overcast. But you all have not taken a long rest, so you will have to make me a Constitution saving throw. The DC for this is only 10, though, much lower than the effects of the light.
I bet I could fail that.
Well, keep in mind it's a saving throw, so just a straight saving throw.
19.
21.
Hork gets a 9.
Oh.
So that is Hork's second level of exhaustion.
He's slow like me now.
Meaning he is moving as fast as Shikara is.
So a long rest will get rid of 1 level of exhaustion.
A single level, yeah.
Level 1's not as bad as level 2, though.
That's true.
So, as you're progressing, the 3-4 hours go by, and then as the sun rises in the current conditions, you can't see up above you, but you can all give me a perception check for hearing, so you're unhindered by the storm at least, or the snowfall.
11 for Shaft.
9. And yes, that was with disadvantage. I remembered this time.
Well, Hork got a 21. So he's actually the only one that actually kind of hears this. But he kind of gives Shaft a bit of a smack. Hey, there's Bubba say, hear something up there.
I don't hear anything. Where?
And as he's pointing it out, Shaft and Shikara, you actually begin, you focus on listening for something. And you don't hear anything at first. And then you can kind of, as clearly it gets closer, you hear the sound of flapping and the sound of the airships. It's fairly unique. The whirring sounds of the dragons in the hall, right? Somewhere up above you, seemingly not too very high though, based on how well you can actually hear them and how loud they are. It does seem that they are kind of passing overhead of you, possibly towards the Paladin camp, but moving northward.
I wonder if that's Grimby.
I don't... It might be, but we can't afford to be seen with what we have.
It would be nice to have their aid right now.
Yeah, but... they're part of the Paladin crew, and I think with what we're doing right now, we would not be welcome guests.
My family would aid us, but yes, there are still many paladins to deal with.
Let's keep this on the download till we get this taken care of with Isabella.
Do you think they saw the blue light?
Let's hope not.
And I'll put my head down and keep walking.
Another 2 hours pass, and through the conditions of the snow, the two structures, so if you recall, the barn itself was kind of in an L shape, and the property was also kind of fenced in. There was a gate outside of the barn that had, seemingly always left open for the wagons coming and going. And then a little actual house too, about 50 feet away from the barn, enclosed in the same fenced property. Of course, this building you had never gone into or searched at all. But you arrive here and it doesn't seem like there are any signs of life. I mean, there's no lights anywhere. There's no torchlight you can see anywhere.
No tracks?
You can give me perception here as you're approaching. As obviously the snow, the ground is now blanketed in snow.
That's only a 9 for me.
12.
Neither of you see any signs of tracks made in the fresh fallen snow.
To the barn?
Yeah. Let me pop up there real quick just to make sure there's no lingering yogi or anything.
I tell the Huskies to stop walking.
Yeah!
I will cast my last
Whoa!
pass without a trace. We're getting ready for a rest, I hope, so I will try to sneak up and look around in the structures.
All right, roll me a stealth as you approach the house.
That'd be a 37.
Okay, goodness. Shikara, Shaft very quickly disappears from your sight just because of the snowfall, right, and the hindrance in vision from it. He literally leaves no trace because, as per the spell, he leaves no footprints in the snow. You couldn't follow him if you wanted to. And Shaft, you approach. You get to the fence line, which is just like a simple, like 3 horizontal slats, but 4 feet tall, right, fence. So there's like gaps in between each of the slats of which you could very easily slip through or under as you progress to the house. And again, no lights. You kind of creep right up to it. You can make me a perception as you approach it.
17.
You don't see anything. You don't hear anything.
I will crack open the door if it is unlocked.
It is, and it swings open with a tiny creak as the hinges groan. You step into immediately into what looks like a kitchen area, right? Like there's a table which you would have food at. There's a potbelly stove which you would tend to cook on, essentially that kind of thing. And past that, kind of in this more open concept, like clearly another type of like living room with a set of stairs that leads to a second story. This is a very small, kind of quaint-looking little house. But even amidst all the furniture, you see what look like shells or like egg shells. Clearly something like hatched, the remnants of it.
I'll go take a look. Do they look like, there's still stuff inside of the egg, remnants from when it cracked, or is it dried like it was some time ago?
Yeah, no, these are completely dried out. There's no intact eggs, right? It's just like leftovers. But amidst them, though, there's tatters of flesh strewn about, like gristle. It's clearly something here that, like, having been devoured and just the scraps left over afterwards.
Okay, I think I'll take a quick little jaunt up the steps and see if there's anything up there.
And in the 2 bedrooms up there, you find similar scenes as in the kitchen and in the living room. Just the leftovers of a hatchery.
I'll head back down, sort of open the door, walk out where they can see me, give them a wave, and just say, wave to come on. Safe. Thumbs up.
So Shaft, as you rejoin them, you actually kind of notice that once you're kind of about 50 or so feet away, like outside with the heavy snowfall, it actually does block the light, the blue light. Like there's enough of interference between and enough distance, unlike like the tower can be seen on a clear day from like miles away, right? This very much smaller source of light. If there wasn't any snow, of course you could clearly see it, but it's not like penetrating this weather effect. There is a limit to like the visibility of it. So it does seem like potentially it could be put somewhere deep enough and far enough away from someone's sight that the light could be blocked.
Okay, so I'll relay that to them. Yeah, it looks, with the snow and everything, it's really giving us some advantage here on this light. It's hard to see.
That's good.
I say we get in here, we place it. Maybe you think we could go over and like pull up a floorboard or something and put it 15 feet over away from where we could take a rest? Is it big enough of a cabin to be able to do that?
So once you're kind of looking around for such a place, you actually do find that there is a trap door to like a cellar in like one corner of the living room, right? So there is like a basement, and you know, a rickety set of half rotted wooden stairs that lead down into this kind of dank smelling and moist cellar down here. And it's just like dirt walls. It's not stone that can, like the foundation or whatever of it doesn't continue down. It's just dirt, obviously heavily packed, but it's damp and wet down here. There are a few barrels and wooden boxes. Each of them looks like they've been empty for some time. Kind of rotted food scraps, very minimal left in there. Like, again, amount of time that this place has been unused. Difficult to tell, but it's very clear that it has not been used in at least a year, 2 years.
Okay, let's go down. Let's get down in here and put the sack in a box. We'll put a barrel on top of it and put your buddies down here, and they can sort of meander around down here as we get a little rest and then head to call.
I will tell them to wake us if anything comes near.
Sounds good. So that'd be the plan. I sort of go down there and like I said, put it in a box, stack it over, put a few things on top, make it look like it's just, a bunch of useless junk. We'll sort of lightly move the Huskies slowly down the rickety stair, hoping they don't twist their ankle and fall and shatter. Come back up, close the trap door, and then maybe slide a couple of those egg husk over top of the trap door to sort of, hide it somewhat.
To obscure it, okay.
Yeah. And then take a long rest.
All right, all three of you can settle in for a long rest. It does seem safe here. So where are you positioning the Huskies?
With the bags in the cellar.
Okay. So sorry, but you had said you wanted to give them directions if something comes to wake you. Like down there, they won't.
No. I'll tell them to guard the bag against anything other than us. And I will call Sparky to watch over us as we sleep. Sparky, come.
Sparky appears, and it flits over to your shoulder immediately and kind of like climbs down your injured arm, like to your hand, right? And gives it a sniff and like a bit of a lick, like a dragon tongue kind of flits out, and a bit of a kind of a nuzzle against your wound, right? Against your withered hand.
Yes, it was worth it, I believe. It doesn't really even hurt anymore. And I kind of flex it and wince a little bit.
So I sort of lean up against the wall next to Horik, sort of take my boots off and lay back. I go, so, just to fill you in, things might get a little dangerous from here on out.
Hey, very dangerous.
Yeah, you never know what might happen. I suggest we get some sleep. I'll tell you when we wake up. That's it. End of the show. Thanks for listening. But before you go, I got a couple of things I want to tell you about. You can find the Incorrigible Party all over the interwebs. You can just go to incorrigibleparty.com and you can find all the links there. While you're there, check out the Patreon. There's some really cool stuff you could do with the Patreon, like give inspiration to Shaft. Or you can waste it and give it to one of those other mooks. Even worse, you could give it to Leland. Also, you can get access to mini campaigns and other cool stuff that we do. You're automatically entered into all contests. I mean, it's really a great deal. The Incorrigible Party is sponsored by Critical Hit Design. All ambient sounds and music provided by tabletopaudio.com. Intro and outro music is by Josh Jarvis, and you can email him at jamesmercymusic@gmail.com if you need any music stuff. Okay, that's it. Now you can go. Happy adventuring!